Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. How is everyone doing today? Good morning, Ro. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, John. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Patrick. Who else do we have here? Who else? Good morning, McRangers. Good morning, Mark. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. So it's going to be a shorter session than yesterday. There's actually not much to talk about because nothing's changed since yesterday. In terms of levels, really. I saw that Walmart sells an entire stake in JD. What else do we have? Mortgage applications. We'll take a look at that in a bit. What else? We had Target earnings, which was a beat. And a big gap up there. You had Macy's, which was a beat on EPS, miss on revenue. You had TJ Maxx, beat. So the lower end holding up and actually doing better, and the higher end not doing so well, especially in revenue. And revenue is the key thing. So that's where we sit there. Yeah, let's make long-term capital gains 44.6. That would crush things, along with the tax rates. At least, I will say one thing, at least, hey, if you're going to spend everything, you got to try to bring the money in. What they don't realize is you raise tax rates to a certain extent, it actually lowers the revenue. Lots of states have found that too, including Maryland, when they pass their millionaire tax, in New Jersey. You know what? So it brings in lower revenue. So we're going to make the corporate tax 28%. But most of these corporations, with all their tax avoidance strategies, aren't going to pay it anyways. So that's the interesting thing. You're pretty much, it'll hurt the smaller corporations that can't structure all the tax avoidance strategies. Good morning, Ted. Hello, Charles. What usually it's the other way around. What does that mean for retail? What do you mean with the lower end doing bad? It means people are just shifting their spending habits for stuff they have to buy to the lower end from the higher end. Good morning, Anissa. You're welcome, Royal Palms. Discretionary is definitely being dialed down, but like you have wealthier people now shopping at Walmart for stuff that's non-discretionary. A lot of people have dialed back on discretionary. It's now, all right, I'm just buying what I need to buy, and you know what? I can go to Walmart versus Whole Foods for that loaf of bread. I don't necessarily need the artisan loaf of bread. You know what? Walmart sells some good bread, so I'll go to Walmart. That's what's happening. I don't need to shop at Macy's for that new t-shirt. I'll go buy the t-shirt at Walmart or Target. All right. Good morning, Richard. Oh, no, Sterling. Packaged food industry margins lower than what? No, they're gouging people, Sterling. They're gouging. Come on. They're just doing it the wrong way. Their margins are lower. So they're gouging people. Realize we need price caps. We need to the government needs to tell them how much to charge, because the government knows how to run the business better than the businesses. You know what? And the government knows how to run our lives better than we know how to run our lives. That's why the government we should turn everything over to the government. Maybe they should tell us how to trade our portfolios. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Interesting. Mortgage rates keep dropping. Look at the applications. They got a little bump when they first fell, but then, so those people, there were some people on the sidelines, like, oh, wait, rates dropped. I'm going to go buy a house real quick. And then it's like, all right, those people are done. Done and dusted. So, not much to talk about there. Fascinating enough, I've actually seen price increases. And why are you raising the price? Oh, well, mortgages are cheaper. So that magically makes your home go more expensive. Well, people can afford the same payment as, like, yeah, I can raise my home price because with the lowered mortgage price, people are roughly going to pay the same for my house. I just got greedier. But your house has been sitting there. Well, okay, well, somebody's going to magically come in and pay more for my house that's just been sitting there for 4 months at the lower price. Absurd. Absurd. EIA numbers out. Oh, we get the non-farm payrolls big revision. Is it going to be that million jobs disappear? It's going to disappear jobs. It's just, is it going to be that million or something lower? That's going to be interesting. The market will probably act positively to that. You know what? Oh, because that means things are worse than expected, so the Fed's going to have to start cutting more. Because we live in insane market times. EIA numbers accrued at very key support. We have the FOMC minutes from the July meeting, the pause meeting. So that's what we have. And then we are kicking off Jackson Hole. Kicking off Jackson Hole. So that's what we have today. Not much. I mean, pay attention at 10 a.m. I think the market will probably react positively just because they're going to be like, oh, Fed's going to have to cut more. FOMC minutes, not expecting anything shocking in it, but we will see about that too. So 10 Eastern and 2 Eastern. Google off slightly, Amazon up slightly. There's your TJ Maxx. Get the max for the minimum at TJ Maxx. Up 6%. So you're getting the max and the stock price boost. There you go. There you go. With the song brought to you by me. Consumer defensive, consumer cyclical. So right now, it's still a rally day. Everything but comm services led down by Google is positive. But it's being led by more of the consumer defensive retail. Fed Watch, this is the aggregated tab, which I really am liking. Markets being insane have roughly, and you can see the difference. All right, there's 25 basis points, but by the end of the year, depending on how you get there, there's still 150 cut. And it's saying that in December, we're down to 4.25 to 4.5. So down, substantially 100 basis points from where we are now. Now, if you go to the individual meetings, still only has one cut in November, technically, and then double cut in December. Fear and greed, back to neutral mode finally. Schiller PE, 36, nosebleed territory. We already covered those three. There wasn't else much to talk about. After the close, you got Snowflake and Zoom. Tomorrow we got Peloton and Advanced Auto Parts. But it's really dying down going into the rest of the week. I was just sticking around for Target and Macy's and TJ Maxx, which you already see, to see how it was shifting. Confirmed my suspicions that we were going to shift, that everything was shifting to the lower end, especially after Lowe's, Home Depot. People aren't doing as many projects around the house, and it's not like a house repairs itself. What else? Yes, those 5 cities do have the strictest gun laws do not reduce the murder rate. Okay. All right. I'm watching to see, especially after that 10 a.m. 1 day pause. If it breaks higher, Again, it almost tapped that 87.5. We're virtually in that area. So I'm really focused on the continued rally at 56.81 and then potentially retest the all-time highs from mid-July, which is 57.21. That's where that stands at this point. The key support keeps climbing. There's now the last Thursday's strong rally day closing area and the gap up area from the reversal on the first. So that would be my key support area I'd be paying attention to, right around 55.65 to 55.70. You get some minor support at about 5,600 on any pullback. I'm still watching for this to really retest yesterday's high area, and you can see the 87.5 still 56.46. So 56.46 to 56.50 is the minor target at this point. 56.80 is the more significant target. NASDAQ, the key support on any bigger pullback that I'm taking a look at is slightly lower, is right around 19,600. Still, the next magnet price is 20,075. All right, so that's where that sits. Not much else to talk about there. There's really, it's just waiting up. Now it's after the stuff comes out today, we got unemployment numbers tomorrow, but we're going to have the big revision stuff today. So there's not going to be anything probably shocking with tomorrow's numbers. You got some, the S&P composite stuff, but then it's Friday's Jackson Hole with Powell speaking. Up against very key resistance is 41,100. If it breaks out from there, pretty quick trip to 41,281. Key support for this is coming in about 40,700. Russell, this was an interesting day yesterday because outside day with a significant down close. So this, pay attention if Russell starts breaking below yesterday's low. Yesterday's low has now become key. 21.45 roughly. 21.44.6 to be exact, 21.45. The Russell's got very significant resistance at 21.77. We could easily have an inside bar even on a rally. What the Russell has to still close above is 2197.6 to start triggering the probabilities to shifting higher. The VIX was slightly elevated above 16 today, so a little elevated VIX, but not much going into the events unfolding the rest of the week. But nothing substantial in the markets. So the VIX is up and the markets are up. So just costing a little more for hedges. DAX, watch one-day pausing bar from yesterday. Keep an eye on yesterday's highs. And then your target in the interim term is about 18,640 and then 18,780. Very strong support area coming in about 18,400 now. Around 18,400 is a strong support area. Oh, nothing to talk about there. This is what, again, the notes broke down, or the yields broke down, testing the very key support area. Going to be interesting now to see if this closes back below 3.79 on a closing basis, because then that would shift the probabilities to retest the spike lows from August 5th, when we had everybody calling for the 75 emergency basis point because the markets were going to zero. What happened? So buy the friggin' dip. Dollar index completed. There we go. Magnet price, that 101 area completed the double. And the 87.5 rule. Yay. Very key support now coming in here. Besides the little breakdown reversal that from last July, we have the 200, which this would be the first connection with the 200 potentially since January of 22. So, and right in front of the 100 mark. Our first target based off everything was that 101, but now it's coming into a major support area. So I will be watching for any potential bottoming plays coming into this area. There's nothing yet. By the way, on any bounce, I'm paying attention to the daily rotation zone, which will roughly come down to this 101.50 area. That would still just be a minor bounce, not a bottoming pattern. Crude completely 87.5 and pausing. There's no strong bottoming pattern here. Crude is in a very key bottom potential area. If we do break below Monday's lows from the 5th of August, $70.06 to be exact, and 68.46. But there's been historically a ton of buying pressure down here. So that's where I'd watch for the next key bounce patterns. Gold, reversal, yes, yesterday still an up close, but getting some selling pressure up here. Gold's getting very overbought. Cycles at the top, so I'm at least watching for a pause / minor pullback. What else? U.S. credit card debt at a fresh high of 1.14 trillion. Fantastic. Default rates are now 3.16. Well, at least they're not 3.159. What else? The yen. Still watching to see if this comes down to potential double bottom territory. Nothing to talk about with that. Euro, we completed. The 2 days ago, the 87.5. Now we're approaching a very key. Remember, with the dollar coming into a key support area, Euro's coming to a very key potential resistance area. If it does break above 111.40, which was roughly the highs from last December, the end of last December, the targets are 112, technically 112.06, but I'd just be focused on 112. And then look at the harmonic is right at the highs from July of 23, about 112.75. So if it can manage a breakout, those are the next two levels, but it's coming into very overbought territory with cycles at the top. You can see here on the weekly, cycles at the top, very overbought. So I'm going to be watching for a potential topping pattern. What did I do? What did I do? There we go. I clicked the wrong button. Spiders and the Qs, again, they've completed the 87.5 rule. There's still the gap left behind on the rally. If the rally continues, we get the breakout above yesterday's highs. The two magnet prices I'm using are 562.87, which is to the open of this topping bar, and then to the close, 584.86. Again, if it breaks out, if we go to new highs in the spiders, the next price is 572. Qs sort of topping out against the 75 for right now, but if we break above there, remember the key prices I'm using in the Qs. We have the gap down open from the 17th of July, 488.28. Then we have a key low of 493.15, which is roughly 493.15 to 493.51 is the next target area. And then you have the gap fill to the close, 496.34. Just pay attention on any pullback like in the Qs, it would be 473.50. The spiders would we have really key significance at 554. Nothing much to talk about Bitcoin. Ethereum just in consolidation, waiting for probably the next Tether money print, because this is dried up for right now. Tether's been kicking some in the market, but not the Tether fraud. When's that going to blow up? Tesla. So I was watching for a return that 50 to 65 area. We've got that now. It's getting cycles at the top and overbought. There's just not a lot of great trade setups now on any drop. You have 204. Nvidia still has a magnet price. Remember earnings next week for Nvidia, but the magnet price is still 134.50. There's very key resistance at 130. Very key at 130. Okay? So, if you're trying to play Nvidia, I'd really be watching that 130 area for a potential breakout. And then it would be 134.50. Key support is back at 122. We don't know who's running the country, do we? We don't know. Who could it be? Because it's not Biden. May you live in interesting times. All right. What else? Because I'm running out of things to talk about. NN is a setup and confirmed daily, weekly double top. Look at how much buying power has been on the daily at that 699 trigger level. It's almost uncanny. NN. You can see how often I look at NN. I do not look at NN. What do we have? Set up and confirmed a daily, weekly double top. Let's look at the bigger. It is. It's not triggered, but it is definitely there. Be watching for this to trigger on the weekly. And that could be a return to 448, but it is not triggered yet. Again, no magic trigger. You see that base had the little confirmation, but the reversal, see no close. That's why. Even if you, let's say you're trying to short this on a daily or intraday basis and it doesn't follow through with a close, you gotta be patient. Because remember, it's not an official trigger until the close. It's just a confirmed pattern. But there you go. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Interesting times. May you live in interesting times. Maybe not so quite as interesting as now. Oh, these next, September, October. September, October. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. Are they still going to sentence Trump in September? Is that still going? Or has that changed again? Because I know they put it on hold. I don't know. Because is that something that's still potentially waving in the wind? Wonder what the October election surprises are going to be. This was interesting. I thought this was interesting. Legacy Media's election coverage. ABC, CBS, NBC. Harris, 84% positive. Trump, 89% negative. Doesn't look fair and balanced to me. I'm not saying anything politically. I'm just saying, hey, we don't need even coverage. Everybody knows here, at least I hope you know, I'm a libertarian. Get the government out of it. Get rid of the Fed. Get government out of stuff besides the core necessities. And Department of Education is not a core necessity. Department of Transportation is not a core necessity. Department of Energy is not a core necessity. So we can trim a lot there and reduce our spending. Yeah, for now it's the 18th for sentencing. Thanks for letting me know. I just haven't. Oh boy, so we still got. So the 18th, was that under a month away? A lot of smart people are going to drink the Kool-Aid. Well, brains don't equal a lot of things. Or people's assumed intelligence level. If they send him to prison, they will win by a landslide. Who knows what they're going to do? And who's the day? Since you got the deep state running everything. I'm sorry for going on a tangent. It's just all insane. Again, may you live in interesting times. That's all I'm pointing out. It's interesting. Very interesting. And since the channel's already demonetized, you know, whether I get banned on Twitter again or X or whatever the crap you call it, it doesn't matter anymore. You know, I don't do this for any money. I just do this for trying to help people learn something. So help people, whatever your expertise is, learn something and at least give something back to as many people as you can by teaching them how to do something you know how to do, which makes the world better. The government is not here to make the world better. So, I mean, what was the Reagan line about the government and here to help? And oh boy. So, not much to talk about. Really pay attention. You know, in 30 minutes, you have the revision numbers coming up. And in the short term with the open, we'll take a look at the tick real quick, but you're going into a very key resistance area. So I'd be watching for that to hold and resist. Is pretty strong tick. Look at that tick. 1400. Wow. Wow, that is a very strong tick for a very flat opening. So personally, I'm going to be watching if this holds up and then going into that 10 a.m. we break out. Personally, I'd be structuring it with the first target being up here for at least a stop raise, and then if it breaks out, those other levels I listed earlier higher. If it pulls back with the tick pulling back, very, very strong support at 56.20. So that's where I'd be watching for a potential bottoming pattern going into 10 a.m. If it slices through there, because remember, you got to be prepared, then I'm watching that convergence with the 8 EMA area and that prior other support. Yeah, the most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Thank you. Thank you. I did not want to mess up the quote, so thank you for putting that in there. Please, don't help us. Fed, technically not a government agency, but please don't help us. Can we get back to free market capitalism, true free market capitalism, which is not the government handing out money and picking winners and losers? Let things fail. Let things flush out of the economy. You gotta have recessions. You can't come out to the rescue and try to bail everything out. The market will do a great job of bailing stuff out on its own. Especially companies can go bankrupt, but that doesn't mean they go away. It flushes out really bad investment and bad capital. But right now, nobody wants any risk. Look at the market. We had a minor sell-off and it's going to zero. We need emergency Fed cuts. Oh, wait, we're back near all-time highs. I mean, this is absurd. Nobody wants any risk anymore. Trading, investing involve risk. But you have all the big money immediately calling for, let's save us. Save us. We're down 5%. Save us. My gosh. What a load of crap all this is. Be willing to take some risk. If you want guarantees in life, you know what? There aren't any. Well, there shouldn't be, but everybody wants guarantees. So until that gets flushed out, oh boy. All right, I'm done. What has changed in our society is what we've tried to create a system and society where there are no losers. Yes, it's participation trophies for all. Let's not have anybody lose. What did Harris say the other day? You to the football team. Uh you might not win a game, but you can still go undefeated. What? No. Let's go off the true meaning. Yeah, you can hold your head up. I'm going after. Yeah, you can hold your head up high, but if you lose a game, you are not undefeated. Okay. Again, strong character. You can have a bad season. So you can still, if you did your best and had a bad season, doesn't mean you give up. It means, you know what? It used to be pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do better. Now it's let's hand out a participation trophy. You're not undefeated if you lose. You lost. Undefeated means you did not lose. All this crap. This utter crap of we can't have anything fail. You don't want to know something? The sandcastle eventually collapses if you keep it propped up, and the weight of it, you see ubiquity. You build more and more instability until something takes it down because everything can't win. It diminishes what win means. We can't all show up to the Olympics and be bad at breakdancing and then cry that you're getting picked on social media. Really? Maybe you shouldn't have shown up with that crap. Oh, by the way, if you want to leave, go ahead. It's just, yeah, even if you don't win every game, you're still undefeated. No, you're not undefeated. You're not, by the definition of undefeated. You can, it doesn't mean you give up. It just doesn't mean you're undefeated. If you go 15-1, you took a loss, but did you learn something from that loss? Sometimes, remember, a lot of Super Bowl champs who thought they were going to go undefeated, you know what? That loss or those couple losses showed them the weaknesses. Those weaknesses propelled them to fix them and then go on to win the Super Bowl. Without the loss, they might not have, because they might have taken the loss in the playoffs and been out because they didn't take it in the regular season. There's nothing wrong with losing, but let's not try to sugarcoat everything. Sometimes we lose from our biggest defeat. We learn. We lose from our biggest defeats. We learn from our biggest defeats. Well, nature does select winners and losers. So you know what? This is what I'm tired of. And again, and both sides of the selection. You know, there's just very different extremes. But again, Trump's not immune to this. He wants to pick winners and losers too. Can we just get out of the way and let the forces work? Let the market forces work. Please get the government out of the majority of stuff. It does not know better. Hey, Kalani. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Nobody wins the Champions League for the first time. You know, and it's just growth happens in the valley, not in the mountaintop. All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Let's just peek back at the S&P. Sorry for my rant. This country needs to get its head fully out of its ass at this point. And that's not a political commentary. That's just a societal commentary. So far holding. This is what I'm talking about. Holding. See the tick pulling back? And so far, this is the exact kind of thing. It's held very key support. So now with the tick, if the tick and naturally the tick bounces, now I'm watching for the breakout. The breakout. It's got to still get above this 53, 56.34, and then the first target area for me, 56.40, 56.39, 56.40. Let's watch. Let's see what happens. And unemployment revisions in 20 minutes. Everyone have a wonderful day. We need a new channel and X account, Mike's Rants. I hope they're not planned. They just happen. And oh, I hope I don't. Well, if I piss you off, then you probably shouldn't be here. By the way, everyone have a fantastic, fantastic trading day, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.